In parallel spacetime 1713, nearly a millennium ago in the ancient capital, the wheel of fate begins to turn, though our story starts in the modern day. At Jiangpu University of Chinese Medicine, a young student named Wu Ji sprints across campus with excitement written all over his face. He proudly presents a golden soccer trophy to his crush, Xiaoyu, eagerly reminding her of her promise to date him if he won the championship. However, Xiaoyu ruthlessly rejects him, adjusting her glasses as she coldly states she prefers Ximen from the basketball club. Ximen, a tall and arrogant National Reserve player, steps in to mock Wu Ji's short stature, dismissing his soccer achievement as mere child's play. He cruelly reveals that the promise was a setup he orchestrated with Xiaoyu just to watch Wu Ji make a fool of himself. Wu Ji trembles with rage and humiliation as the realization of their betrayal sinks in. Enraged, Wu Ji grips his trophy, but Ximen warns him off with a sneer before physically knocking the smaller man to the ground. Humiliated, Wu Ji walks alone into the pouring rain, listening to bystanders mock his stature and mistake him for a middle schooler. Lost in despair while crossing the street, he mutters curses at Xiaoyu for playing with his feelings. Suddenly, he is blinded by headlights as a truck slams into him, shattering his world in an instant. As his consciousness fades into shards of memory, he screams internally, refusing to accept such a pathetic end. His soul is pulled through a cosmic vortex, traveling through time and space. A system notification announces a successful body swap into the water margin world, rewriting the memories of the locals to accept his appearance. He wakes up to the sight of a beautiful woman in ancient clothing holding a bowl of medicine, calling him Dalang. She remarks that he has grown thinner and paler after sleeping for 3 days, unaware that the system is actively altering her memories to find him handsome. Confused, Wu Ji wonders if he survived the crash and is in a hospital with a strange cosplay theme. Struck by the nurse's beauty, he asks her name, only to be stunned when she introduces herself as Jinlian. He looks around at the ancient furniture and realizes with horror that he has transmigrated into the novel water margin as the infamous Wu Dalang. Panic consumes him as Jinlian urges him to drink the medicine with a sweet smile. Recognizing the iconic scene of his character's murder, he screams internally, fearing he is about to be poisoned immediately. Terrified, Wu Ji clamps his mouth shut, refusing to let a single drop of the dark liquid enter his throat. In a desperate panic, he slaps the bowl from her hands, shouting that she is a poisonous woman. Jinlian bursts into tears, explaining that they only just moved to Yanggu County and he was injured by thugs, not poisoned. Wu Ji quickly analyzes the timeline, realizing they have not yet met Ximen Qing, meaning he is safe from being murdered for now. Watching the beautiful Jinlian clean up the broken bowl, he decides he will not run away but instead take the offensive to change their tragic fate. His competitive spirit ignites, and he visualizes his new life as a soccer match where he will defeat all rivals and conquer the beauties of this world. Suddenly, Jinlian cries out in pain and clutches her stomach, sinking to the floor. She admits she is suffering from severe menstrual cramps, trying to reassure him despite her agony. The beauty cultivation system activates, introducing itself as his new aid in this world. It offers him stats for raising favorability but issues a deadly ultimatum. Dual cultivate with Jinlian and reach full favorability in 1 week or die. Wu Ji panics at the impossible deadline, screaming that he has never successfully picked up a girl in his life. The system ignores his complaints and issues a novice mission. Cure Jinlian's pain in 5 minutes, with the penalty of shrinking 60 centimeters if he fails. Desperate to save his height, he confidently tells Jinlian to lie down, claiming he has a way to stop the pain. He boasts that his modern medical degree has made him an expert in massage and acupuncture to reassure her. He rubs his hands together to generate heat, preparing to apply his professional technique. Wu Ji places his hands on her abdomen, applying expert pressure to her acupoints to dispel the cold stagnation. Jinlian is shocked as the pain melts away, replaced by a soothing warmth spreading through her body. As he continues, Jinlian looks at him with softened eyes, touched by his gentleness and wondering if she misjudged him. Wu Ji intensifies the massage, using his skills to send waves of healing energy deep into her abdomen. The sensation shifts from relief to intense pleasure, leaving Jinlian flustered and struggling to suppress her rising arousal. With the timer ticking down, Wu Ji ignores her weak protests to stop, focusing entirely on completing the cure before time runs out. A final surge of energy clears the blockage, marking the success of his treatment. The system confirms the cure and rewards him with the potent flower-picking finger massage technique. Triumphant, Wu Ji laughs as he vows to use his new power to defeat Shimin and even woo the princess of the Song dynasty. Wu Ji relaxes in bed, examining his newly unlocked system interface, which displays attributes like strength, intelligence, and luck. He deliberates over his 10 available attribute points, torn between boosting combat power for survival or charisma to Wu Jinlian. A sound from the next room catches his attention, and he moves to a crack in the wooden partition to investigate. Through the peephole, he spies Jinlian bathing, the sight of her beauty amidst the steam sending his pulse racing. Overwhelmed, he suffers a sudden nosebleed and stumbles back with a loud crash, alerting Jinlian to his presence. Panicked, he shouts an excuse about making lunch to cover his tracks, claiming he will prepare egg-fried rice. The system immediately triggers a mission to conquer Jinlian's taste buds, threatening a horrifying penalty of shrinkage if he fails. Desperate to avoid the penalty, Wu Ji dumps all his points into intelligence, instantly upgrading his cooking skill to proficient. He gets to work in the kitchen, cracking eggs and tossing the wok with the flair and precision of a master chef. The result is a plate of golden egg-fried rice that glows with an appetizing aura. He presents the dish to Jinlian, who is enticed by the delicious aroma despite her initial hesitation. Jinlian scolds him for being extravagant with their limited supplies, insisting he eat it himself since he is recovering. Wu Ji is touched by her selflessness, realizing she is a good woman unlike her book counterpart, and vows to protect her from the evil Wang Pe. He takes her hands, reassuring her that with his new abilities, he will soon bring wealth and stability to their home. Jinlian looks at him with admiration, feeling that her husband has finally found his backbone and masculinity. He insists she eat, gently feeding her a spoonful of the golden rice himself. The moment the rice touches her tongue, Jinlian is overwhelmed by a vision of warmth and sunshine, the flavor exploding in her mind. The system confirms the mission success, rewarding Wu Ji with stats and a special growth enhancement for his manhood. Jinlian hugs him in pure gratitude, her favorability rising significantly, but the close contact pushes Wu Ji's endurance to the brink. Flustered by the hug, Wu Ji pushes her back, claiming his body is suddenly overheating with a strange illness. He explains that her touch has caused his qi and blood to surge dangerously, a condition only she can relieve. Another nosebleed strikes, terrifying Jinlian, who begs him to tell her how to save him. Struggling for words, he awkwardly asks her to perform a special manual massage to release the pressure. He drags her to the kitchen and uses a cucumber to demonstrate the hand movements required for the treatment. Jinlian flushes red but understands the method, agreeing to help him in the bedroom. Wu Ji tosses the cucumber aside, ready to experience the real thing. He resolves to fully conquer her heart and body quickly, knowing he must secure her loyalty before Shimin arrives. As she prepares to help him, Jinlian's eyes widen in shock at the size of his manhood, a result of the system's recent reward. Her favorability rises to the friendly level as she marvels at his masculinity. She begins the massage with her soft hands, bringing Wu Ji intense relief and pleasure. The sensation becomes too much, and Wu Ji cries out that he can't hold it back any longer. He rushes out of the room at the last second to finish up, leaving a bewildered Jinlian behind. Recovering from the close call, Wu Ji plans his next move to fully consummate their marriage and complete the system's ultimate mission. It is a bustling morning in Yanggu County, and Wu Ji marvels at the prosperity of the Song dynasty. Though he is acutely aware he only has 6 days left to complete his mission with Jinlian. Wandering the streets, he brainstorms business ideas to make money and woo his wife, considering the classic transmigrator trope of selling pancakes. Suddenly, a figure rushes around a corner and slams directly into him, knocking them both to the ground. He looks up to see a stunning young woman with silver hair beneath him, apologizing profusely. The girl, Pan Jinlian, begs for forgiveness, explaining she is in a desperate hurry to find a doctor for her sick sister. Wu Ji watches her leave, his mind momentarily darkening with the knowledge that this prosperous era will soon be destroyed by the gene invasion. The system interrupts his thoughts with a new mission: save Chuanmei's sister for 10 attribute points, with the dreaded penalty of shrinking if he fails. To aid the novice transmigrator, the system drops a modern medical kit from the sky. Wu Ji opens the box to find surgical essentials like sutures, scalpels, and needles, realizing he can now perform actual surgeries. He follows Chunmei to a clinic, where she pleads with Dr. Jiang to save her sister, who is suffering from severe abdominal pain and fever. Listening from the doorway, Wu Ji recognizes the symptoms of appendicitis, a condition the greedy doctor dismisses because Chunmei has no money. A mysterious woman wearing a black veil and emitting a strange body odor enters the clinic, commanding respect from the doctor. Just as Chunmei is being turned away, Wu Ji steps forward, grabbing her arm and declaring that he will save her sister. Chunmei is skeptical, but Wu Ji accurately describes her sister's symptoms of nausea and vomiting without ever seeing the patient. He stakes his own life on the diagnosis, telling Chunmei she can report him to the magistrate for execution if he fails. The veiled woman watches the scene with interest, intrigued by this strange man willing to gamble his life for a stranger. Wu Ji arrives at Chuanmei's humble home and finds her sister lying unconscious on a wooden pallet. He begins his examination, checking for bowel sounds and pressing on McBurney's point to confirm the location of the pain. To be absolutely certain the inflammation hasn't spread, he prepares to perform a digital rectal exam and turns the patient over. Wu Ji explains that he needs to insert his finger into her rectum for a diagnosis, a statement that sounds horrifying to ancient ears. Chunmei, thinking he is taking advantage of her sister, furiously attacks him with a wooden stick. The sick sister wakes up weakly, stopping Chunmei and giving her consent, resigned to let the doctor do whatever is necessary to save her. Wu Ji proceeds with the exam, apologizing internally as he performs the intrusive but necessary check. The patient cries out in pain, confirming the inflammation is localized and hasn't yet caused a perforation. Diagnosis confirmed, Wu Ji immediately opens his medical kit to prepare for an emergency appendectomy. He hands Chunmei a modern flashlight to illuminate the surgery, but she screams in terror, thinking it is sorcery. Wu Ji quickly lies, claiming it is a smokeless divine lamp, given to him by an immortal to calm her down. Before starting, he dumps 20 attribute points into intelligence, instantly upgrading his medical skills to the level of a master surgeon. With the anesthesia taking effect, Wu Ji makes the first incision with steady, expert hands. He locates the inflamed appendix and deftly removes it, the light of the flashlight revealing the success of the procedure. He sutures the wound with precision, completing the first-ever surgery in the Song dynasty. The system congratulates him on a successful mission and rewards him with 10 attribute points. But just as he relaxes, he notices something wrong with the patient and leans in to check her vitals. His triumph turns to horror as he realizes her heart might have stopped. Sudden death. Outside, the veiled woman watches intently, wondering if this strange man is truly an immortal. Wu Ji realizes the patient has a tension pneumothorax caused by extreme stress and alveoli rupture. He rips open her clothes to perform a thoracic puncture. The veiled woman interrupts, accusing him of assaulting the helpless girl. Wu Ji snaps back, pointing out the patient has no breath and will die without immediate action. With surgical precision, he pierces the chest cavity, releasing the trapped air. The patient gasps and recovers breathing, leaving the veiled woman stunned. She apologizes profusely, feeling ashamed for doubting his skill. Wu Ji identifies her as Wu Yuanyang, Shimin Qing's neglected first wife, and recalls her secret struggle with body odor. He approaches her and sniffs the air, confirming the scent she tries to hide. He diagnoses her condition as internal damp heat and promises a cure in 3 days. He performs a special acupuncture technique on her, causing a surge of relief and pleasure. Her favorability skyrockets, triggering a new mission to fully romance her within 2 weeks. Grateful, Wu Yuanyang gifts him 100 taels of silver before leaving. Flush with cash, Wu Ji takes Jinlian shopping, ignoring the jealous whispers of bystanders. He insists on buying a jade bracelet for her, silencing the sneering shopkeeper with his silver. He places the bracelet on her wrist, vowing to give her a life of luxury, which greatly boosts her favorability. Their moment is interrupted by the arrival of Hua Zishu, a wealthy and arrogant nobleman. Hua Zishu insults the bracelet and tries to lure Jinlian away with promises of wealth. Wu Ji steps in front of his wife, coldly telling the nobleman to get lost. As Hua Zishu orders his thugs to attack, Wu Ji calmly dumps points into his strength stat. He unleashes his new power, shattering the attacker's guard with a single kick. Moving with incredible speed, he knocks out the thug with one punch. Wu Ji stands victorious over his enemies, looking back at a stunned and adoring Jinlian.